Howdy everyone, Pocho here with an Age of Magic video, and in today's video we're moving into the next battle for the AI Championships. We have Team 6 Jellyfish Joy going up against Team 30 Body by Zoom. So with the coin flip, Jellyfish Joy won. She got to pick to go first or second. She opted to go first, so we'll move into the bands. Moving into the bands, we have Joy banning Seven Knives and Zoo banning Sendario. Seven Knives, obviously a very strong ban. However, I think if I was picking first, I would not ban Seven Knives and leave it on the field for my opponent to ban. In the case that he doesn't, you'd get Seven Knives as your first pick. Very strong champion. I reckon, honestly, with a Seven Knives on your team, he would carry your entire team. I've never seen a player pick Seven Knives. He's always been banned, but I feel like he would get you through everything. And then we have the Sendario. Sendario, a good band. She does a lot of AoE damage. She does a lot of single target damage. She's a decent hero. I think it's a strong band. Then we have the Magnus and the Sakura for obviously getting rid of the Gold Boys. Gold Boys have a pretty high ban rate as well. Magnus especially, being a universal character, you just don't want your opponent getting him, and Sakura is just a nuisance. And then we got the Suna and the Azariel, both again strong bans. You do not want your opponent getting Suna. With the critical hit support attacks, she can do a lot of passive damage. Her taunt, she has a little bit of a heal. She's a pain in the ass. And then you've got Azariel. Again, Azariel is just one of those heroes. If your opponent gets it, pretty much I reckon it's a guaranteed win, or very close to. So I think those are pretty solid bans. So moving on to the first pick, Joy went with Tiliana. Obviously a strong choice. We have seen Tiliana do work in this AI Championship, so a solid first choice, countered by the Swamp Killer and the Cobalock. I think Cobalock is a low-key, high-tier champion in the AI Championships. His AoE accuracy decrease gives your opponent a turn of just using their basic attacks. We know the AI just does not know how to use their attacks when a accuracy decrease is on them. So I think he's a solid healer. And with that free turn, you almost get heals off. You're preventing extra damage. It's a solid ability. In Swamp Killer, why not? Strong damage, but without the Denia leader, she misses a lot and she dodges a lot. So she is a pain. Moving on to the next choices, we have the Kabuto and the Atiles from Joy, the 2-tank strategy. I question this. I don't think the 2 tanks are needed. I think the Atiles would have sufficed. If you were going to go with Atiles, you might as well just go pure damage from this point. You got Tiliana, strong damage. You might as well just keep building the damage. He will get his taunt out. It's just inevitable. The AI is using the characters. They're going to use AoE. They're going to trigger that taunt, and then that would just let your damage dealers just rip through the enemy. However, Kabuto can do good damage, but I just feel like there's better choices on the field. And then matched by the Tanita and the Hylia from Zoo. So now we've got 2 healers and 2 solid damage dealers. So a bit of a wall now. You're going to focus the healers, who I know you will not be able to kill in a single turn. They're going to heal, and then they're going to have the damage dealers in the back line just taking out opponents. With the accuracy decrease as well, you're going to have more time to get heals out. Moving on to the next picks, we have the Sweet Voice and the Sneaky Beaky. So trying to run a little bit of Goblin pick here. Interesting. I don't know how they're going to work. We have seen Goblina. What's her name? I'm just going to call her Sweet Voice. Sweet Voice. We have seen her do some decent work in the AI Championships. But again, I don't know. I just feel like damage. Get the damages. Damage dealers on the field ASAP. And then the Sneaky Beaky. I don't really have any comments on Sneaky Beaky. I don't know how he really acts in battle. We'll see. Maybe he does some work. Maybe he doesn't. And then we've got the Worm Priest from Zoo. Now, Worm Priest is probably one of the slowest characters in the game, but he hits like a truck. I'm pretty sure... Oh, I nearly dropped my iPad. I'm pretty sure to this day, he has the hardest hitting auto attack in the game still. I don't know anyone that would match him. Maybe Seven Knives? But his auto attack absolutely whips. It is going to do big damage. And as I know he's slow, but when he does his attacks, he will do work. Moving on to the subs, we have the Hound, solid damage dealer with a sleep ability. And then we have the Jag. So 2 damage dealers. I think those are good choices for subs to get more damage in. Jellyfish Joy, no healers. Body by Zoo, no tanks. But he does have the healing, and Joy has the tanks. So we'll see how these teams work in battle. Let's jump into the arena and see who's going to win the first point. Okay. Here we go. Going into the first battle, Swamp Killer comes out. Bit of damage on the Goblina as the debuffs come out, but it seems like nothing applied. The accuracy decrease comes out from Cobra Lock. That's going to get a free round of basic attacks from Zoo. He is going to be able to bypass a lot of abilities until they get their first ability out. Still, only no debuffs coming out from Goblina. However, Cobra Lock falls as the Tiles is now going to take a bunch of the beating from the enemy. They're going to have to wait for the Worm Priest to get some damage out. Here he goes. Big Worm. What's he going to do? Fair amount of damage. A Tile on the brink of falling. He is going to die. As a 4v4 situation with Helia very close to perishing. With Swamp Killer and Tanita in the back doing damage, they might be able to get through. Debuff comes out from Worm Priest, so there's dots on the enemy now. Helia falls. 4v3 situation. They need to take out the Swamp Killer or even the Worm Priest. Worm Priest can actually do a lot of damage even with his auto attack. It's the strongest auto attack in the game, I believe, as he takes out Goblina. It's a 3v3 situation. Tanita dodging again, I believe. He's dodging a lot of damage. He finally dies. It is a 3v2, but Kabuto finally falls 2v2 situation. It depends now on the Swamp Killer. How many abilities is she going to hit? The Worm Priest. If they can take out Worm Priest, he just gets the buff out. The Tiliana is put to sleep. Tiliana now dies. Swamp Killer doing too much damage. It is now up to Sneaky Beaky. I don't think Sneaky Beaky alone can take out this team as he's put to sleep. And the first point is going to go to Zoo. Very interesting first battle. I honestly thought Joy was going to come through with the first point. However, she does not. The healing, the damage from Zoo's team gets him through. Bit of RNG there, but it's all right. He's got a pretty good lead now with that first point. We'll take the battle over to the contenders now, and they'll be able to decide what they want to do from here on out. So going into the second battle, and Joy has changed Houndin for Sweet Voice. Hopefully that makes a difference. It has put the Cobra Lock to sleep. If they can take out Cobra Lock before he gets the accuracy decrease out, that might be pretty good. We'll see. The big damage comes from Tiliana and takes out Cobra Lock, making it a 4v5 situation, and the Hound has already dramatically increase the use of Joy's team. Now the damage is going to come out on the Helia. If they can take out the Helia, they get rid of the healing. However, Helia is not really a threat. They should be aiming anyone else, really. If they can take out anyone else, it would just do so much more work for them, as the Hound is very close to dying. The accuracy decrease is out on the enemy what's his name? Worm Priest. It's a 3v3 situation now. If they can take out Tanita, they're going to start changing the... Oh my god, that Tanita is getting some dodges, that's for sure. They need to take out someone so they can start focusing one character. That Tanita, what is going on? He just does not fall. He's just keeping in there. There he goes, finally falls, but that's Tiliana wasting a whole ability on the one character that was in critical HP. They need to take out Worm Priest. Tiliana, is she going to be able to do it? There comes the AoE. Oh, Tiliana dodges the Swamp Killer now in critical HP. The Worm Priest falls, Swamp Killer left, and Tiliana takes out the Swamp Killer finally. Better match for Joy, much better. Sweet Voice being taken out, but my god, that Tanita really just hanging in there, caused a lot of grief for Joy. Second point going to Joy. That's 1 point apiece. We're going to have to go to the third match and see who comes out on top. Moving into the third battle, and Zoo has taken out Cobra Lock and put Jag in. So now we are going to see the damage coming out on Helia, who dodges. There's a lot of dodging going on. The lockdown comes out on the Worm Priest. Interesting lockdown, but a good lockdown. Considering how slow Worm Priest is, it's going to take him out of the battle for a long time. A lot of damage coming out on Tanita, who dodges again. What is with the dodges? AoE comes out some dots. They need to take out the Tanita. If they can take out Tanita, that's a lot of damage. 4v 5 situation, splitting the damage now. The Tanita finally falls, 4v4 situation, and the Worm Priest is still out of action. That's a lot of damage being mitigated from Zoo's team. Joy is in two characters in critical HP. The damage on the Worm Priest comes out. Big damage on the Hylia, but it's not Hylia who is a threat. It's the damage dealers. Now it is a 2v3 situation. Is Hylia going to be able to get some big hits out? We will find out as she dodges, or not dodges, but the Swamp Killer misses. The missing is a big part of Swamp Killer's Tiliana Falls. It's pretty much done here, and it is now a 1v3 situation. And unfortunately, Joy is not going to be able to come back from this, I don't believe. Unless, I know Swamp Killer misses like 50 attacks in a row, but it's not going to happen as the Sneaky Beaky is put to sleep. Too much damage coming out. And the third point goes to Zoo. 2 points to Zoo, 1 point to Joy. Unfortunately, Joy being eliminated from the competition. We'll go over and look at the leaderboard now and look at the semi-finalists for the AI Championship. So here we have it, ladies and gentlemen, the final 4 contestants. Bug Lord Kelpie going up against Poolboy, Mark Kendall, and Mermaid Natty going up against Body by Zoo. Our final 4 contestants. If you are betting on one of these players, you are still in the running to win a wonderful prize. We'll try and get these battles out as soon as possible. It obviously depends on when I have access to the server to do the battles. So I apologize for the delay. It's taken quite a long time to get to this point. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment below. I will answer it to the best of my ability. And wherever you are in the world, until next time, please take care of yourself.